Children's Hospital Foundation, the Cameron K. Gallagher Foundation, Jacob's Chance, and
40,000 minutes of broadcast time donated.
Beyond Boundaries, the Virginia Down Syndrome Association,
Nonprofits telling their story, maximizing their impact.
Richmond Regional
I'm looking at that.
the Chesterfield.
Right off the bat. But then after that, we're letting a Remembrance Day. I'm sure you've been to things where, you know, it's very structured.
Yes.
It ain't it.
Okay. I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. Mike King here, coming to you from the Call Federal Credit Union Media Center, powered by Icon Realty Group. We're coming to you from high above Henrico. Yes, I've moved. So all my friends who are still continuing to go to the South Side, the Midlothian studio, I'm sorry for you. You've been warned. I know you guys. For 6 years, I came to you guys. Now you guys have to do a road trip. Sorry. Alrighty, so here we got. So for people who know me, I got a relationship with Selering Arms. Shout out to my man, Samar Lemons, who is out there. You can follow him on his social media, Samar Lemons. He did a radio show with me called the Lemon Drop, where he talked and interviewed people who were doing big things in the community. And part of that journey was at Selering Arms. So I got to give a shout out to my man, Michael Sparks, Philip Noel at Underground Kitchen. I'm sitting at this formal table. You know, it was a lot for me. You know, we got multiple court. I'm from Philadelphia, so you know, I'm not out there hobnobbing with, you know, the hoity-toities. That, you know, for people who know Philadelphia people, that ain't us. Madam, Dr. Jewel is here. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
Tell us who you are and what you do. That way we can get to the good stuff.
Okay. Well, so I'm Dr. Dion Jewell. I am president and CEO of Selering Arms Corporation and Hospitals. What is helpful for listeners to understand is that there are several companies whose first name is Selering Arms. We're all related. Selering Arms Institute is the clinical piece of our work. So that's our hospital out in Goochland, our 8 area clinics that provide outpatient therapy. That's where Samar would have started. We have Selering Arms Foundation, which is our development arm. So they raise money for our good work. And then we have Selering Arms community programs, for which I am solely responsible. Those are adaptive and medical fitness and day recreation services for people with physical disabilities.
So you had started as a physical therapist. That's a
I
training.
did.
Now you go into the administrative side,
Sure.
the business side of it. What's it like when that part you're doing the work? You know, you get the gratification a person's doing. That's the physical therapy work. And then all of a sudden you come to the business side, and this is a business show. A lot of times it's not all that huggy, you know, there's tough decisions that have to be made. Why was that? Why'd you go to that, ma'am?
Well, one thing that being in a leadership role in this environment is that in some ways I get to touch many more people than I would touch every single day if I were still practicing. But the real trick to it is to remember our mission. Our mission is to serve people who need physical rehabilitation programs and services, regardless of their ability to pay for them. So we have a robust financial assistance program. And as long as my eyes are on that mission, then I get the reward knowing that I'm helping my colleagues deliver the quality of care and service people need.
Well, how can people get information about Selering Arms?
Well, websites are the easiest way. If you were to get on your favorite search engine, Google is mine. So if you were to Google Selering Arms Institute, that would take you to a webpage that describes our hospital and our clinics. We provide the care there in collaboration with VCU Health. So that's our joint ventured business. If you just Google Selering Arms, you'll find our community programs. So again, our fitness program, Samar, in fact, has been a member of our fitness programs as well. Our day recreation program. And then you can find Selering Arms Foundation by searching Selering Arms Foundation.
So a lot of times when I deal with whether it is someone in the medical field, we're dealing with grief, we got a grief educator in the building. People show up to your place at the worst time.
They do.
At a very tough time. So what is it like when they come in and all of a sudden you see the light come on? Because you're dealing with, so our good friends over at Ronald McDonald House, it's not just a sick child. You're dealing with the whole family who has, they show up there and eventually they realize that they found a place. They found an organization to help them because their world came to an end. Or either they've been in this care, they've tried, they didn't know. What's it like when that light comes on?
Well, I often say that physical rehabilitation is an investment in hope. And so our role is to help reveal the opportunity and hope that lies in any situation. And to your point, it's not just children, adults who suffer a stroke, a brain injury, a spinal cord injury, they lose a part of a limb, they're grieving that loss. And it affects the whole family, not just that individual. So our job is really to care for the entire group and help them step by step see that there are still possibility in their future.
How long have you been a CEO?
I'm wrapping up my 6th year.
Okay. So that will put you right around COVID time.
Exactly.
Congratulations, ma'am. What did you guys as an organization learn from COVID? Whether it was here or in the industry, we never did that. We would never do that. And now all of a sudden you found out, you know what? That thing kind of works.
I would say that, 2 things happened for us. We actually opened our then new hospital just over the line in Goochland County in June of 2020, in the middle of the
Congratulations.
pandemic. No vaccines, no treatments available at that point. We were successful in doing that without any outbreak or any kind of transmission problem for the infection. So we're very proud of that. I think the biggest thing for us was to be very open with our team members about what we knew, about what we didn't know. We gave them the ability to also provide information about what they were seeing, what seemed to be working, what didn't seem to work. So it was really a group effort, not a top-down, we're going to do it this way, it has to be that way, because we didn't know what we didn't know. And everybody had access to some kind of observation or information that might be important.
Okay. We're here, Sheltering Arms is in the building. We talk to business leaders all the time, and we ask them about culture. How do you, because a lot of times people can't tell you what's good culture. People may stumble over it. They might have an idea here or there. But if you ask me about bad culture, where they can give you chapter and verse, they can tell you, how do you set good culture in an organization?
So one of the challenges we had when we formed our new partnership with VCU Health was to bring 2 cultures together, because team members from both organizations were coming to work at this new hospital.
Okay.
The leader of the clinical enterprise is someone you may have met, Alan Lombardo.
Yes, he was there the day we were at your house.
Yes, very good. So Alan is really the person who was given the responsibility to blend the 2 cultures together.
I didn't know that's what his role was.
He is the leader of the institute. So he too is a physical therapist, but he has a remarkable ability to see the positive aspects of even the most difficult situations and to call them out and to encourage the team to do the same. So he really gets the credit for bringing together two different groups of people into a unified culture and team over the last six years. We just celebrated our 6th birthday.
Congratulations on that. And I could feel, now that you said that, he did seem like a clinician, like a person in the medical. So I tell people, the Army gave me a wife, medic, LPN, turned into an RN 46 years ago. I found my way with scrubs on. So you know what? When I see people with scrubs, I give them a thumbs up, like, thank you, gave me a wife, Uncle Sam. So I really appreciate that. When we go to your facilities, you just get the feeling that, keeping the morale of the troops up, and people show up, and your people really just uplift the folks who come in. Because I asked, when I'm there with Samar, I'm like, it's just like he just raves about the folks over at Sheltering Arms. As the CEO, and so the program here is 60% women who follow us. And I had a panel not too long ago on women CEOs. It's a different job. And I had a lady tells me my husband is a fine gentleman, but he wears one hat, maybe two. Like my wife does not give me, a lot of responsibilities because something, and the people who know me, they were like, okay, Mike, let some of those go. Women wear a lot of hats.
We do.
On a regular basis, juggling, you're momming, you're working, you're doing all those things. Ma'am, hold on a second. You got to give us some words of encouragement. We don't have a budget like Sheltering Arms. This $5 store for my granddaughter Isabella. We'd like to thank you very much. All right, ma'am. For the young women entrepreneurs, CEOs out there, some words of wisdom, because you guys have to, juggle a lot of things at once.
Well, one of the things that's important for us is that the person who created Sheltering Arms in 1889 was a woman who didn't have the right to vote, didn't have a college education, didn't work outside the home. But she saw a need in the community and she rallied her friends and allies to create Sheltering Arms. If she can do it, we can do it. We have so many more advantages in this day and age, but it does take seeing a need or an interest. It takes focus. It also takes some flexibility. You might be surprised at where you find yourself. Never once did I say out loud, I want to be a CEO someday, and yet here I sit. Because I was able to weave together different opportunities that had come my way over time, weave together different connections, get to know Sheltering Arms very deeply and believe in the mission, and all of that helped prepare me. So I would also say keep your mind and heart open.
One of the things, so we do, at a time I was in the medical field, I love that medical field. I love being able to help people, all those things. As I was telling Monica about earlier, my wife she would like patient care. That really wasn't my thing. I like the emergency. I worked in emergency rooms. It's fast paced and there's nothing to do, but there's a definite beginning and end period that you're dealing with people. And so it is that environment. When you go between different organizations in your group, you run into different environments. What's it like? Okay, so now I know maybe they're on the best behavior because you come in, but you hear about what's going on all the time for people saying, I went to your place and man, they did this for my cousin. They did this for my mom. Touch on what that feels like, because we got to get the next generation of caregivers.
We do. Right now, we definitely need nurses, that's for sure. I think it's helpful to remember that working in a healthcare environment, wherever your calling is, whether it's in the emergency room, whether it's in the delivery room, whether it's in our spaces where rehabilitation is happening, you're in there helping a person who needs support, needs guidance, needs your expertise, recover their lives in some fashion. Maybe not exactly the way they used to be, but you're helping somebody get back to a purpose, to a family, to a role, to engagement in life in the way that they can. That is very rewarding, but it's also so important because our ability to be successful as communities depends on people like Samar, who has a profound spinal cord injury, but he's not letting that stop him from making a positive impact on the world. And my job and my colleagues' jobs is to help people like Samar see that they can still have that very important impact. That's an amazing contribution in my mind.
Shout out to my friend Beth Murphy over at Bryan and Stratton, pushing out nurses into the workforce. We'd like to thank her for that. When you look at the So you deal with the medical side, but you also deal with the business side. Two totally different things. Touch on the business environment that you see in Richmond and the surround. And what's the footprint for Sheltering Arms?
So we have a 144 bed hospital that is in the far west end. It's just over the line in eastern Goochland County.
Okay.
We have 8 clinics that provide therapy services that are in the metro. So we have 3 in Chesterfield County, we have 1 in Hanover, we have 2 in or 3 in Henrico and 1 in the city right now. So we're, drive the beltways around, and that's where we are.
Okay. Do you ever look at expanding?
We do.
And when you're looking to do that, how do you pick an area from a business standpoint? You say, okay, we're going to go and put something there.
Part of it is looking at what the population and demographics, look like in an area. So we know Chesterfield County is growing like gangbusters.
Okay.
So the question is, who's moving there? What are their healthcare needs? Can we make a difference for those folks? How old are people? A lot of this is not by individual, but there's publicly available data that we can look at
Older
that says
community.
yes, or you can look and see where are 55 plus communities being developed or continuing care communities. All of that informs our thinking about where we think we can make a difference and add a clinic to do that.
So Mike King, Dr. Jewell is here with us. There was a time when you were, an upper comer. You'd walk in and you'd see, oh, that's that person. Oh, that's that person. Ma'am, now you're that person. So what's it like, when a friend of mine, and she was there that night too, Jennifer Montague from the Columbia Gas.
Yes.
And she said, I'd heard her say, a lot of times women are over-mentored and under-sponsored. They can tell you how to get there. Oh, we ate ramen for, 29 weeks in a row. But that's it. But them getting you into a room that you're not in, that's the sponsorship part.
Mm-hmm. Well, and another word that I use often is finding an ally and being an ally. So for me, when I started in this role, what I told the team was that I viewed my job as I'm here to clear the way for your success in whatever role you have. So I think for anybody, men or women, having a philosophy about what your leadership approach, about what you hope to do, helps. Now, if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, you're just really getting started in a profession, it might take a while for that to form, and that's okay. I would say don't be afraid to walk up and stick your hand out. If you're in a group setting, a social setting, a business setting, and there's somebody who you want to know or somebody you admire or somebody that you think, oh, they wouldn't want to talk to me, first of all, you'd be surprised. Learning what the journey is for people who are just getting started helps us understand our own team. It helps us realize that just because I've, gotten to this point in my career, I work with many more people who are just like that shy or, quieter person who says, oh, Dr. Jewell wouldn't want to talk to me. I absolutely want to talk to you. I want to understand where you are, what you're dealing with. If you have questions about my journey or you think I can help you, then let's talk about that. That for me is allyship or sponsorship.
Let the church say amen. Because a lot of times people think you're unapproachable. I mean, and it no matter what level you're at, but Richmond seems to be the kind of place where you can, I've only been here since 2014, but, the community's been open and people will talk to you. So congratulations on all that you have going. So for a group that's out there, the foundation part, explain that to us.
Sure. So the woman who founded Sheltering Arms, when I said she rallied friends and allies to create a free hospital, because that's what it was all volunteer. And we took donations in kind to support the hospital. But over time, community members who had some resources left money to us. That money was invested over many, many years. And then when we formed the partnership with VCU Health, that was the first time that we actually organized a true capital campaign and put together a development team. It's currently led by a man named Mac McElroy. And their job is partly to help raise money. I mean, that is the principal job, but really they're ambassadors for our work because they're the ones out and about in the community talking about what Sheltering Arms is, what we do, why it's important to invest in it, why people should be happy that it's in Richmond. So they talk to people about making donations. They talk to companies about making donations. But just as importantly, they spread the word about our work. And you need evangelists out there to help really connect with the community who might not know the name or what we do.
As my dad would always say, changing the world ain't cheap, easy, or free.
Nope.
Money got to change hands somewhere. And it's also good to have friends.
It is.
So that's the idea. So anytime that you want, I always joke with a friend of mine who's in development, Nanette Shore, I'd say to you guys, hug people until some money falls out. And clearly, and she's like, Mike, don't say it like that. But really, when people want to change, when you want to impact people's lives, sometimes, we need the friends who can go ahead and, and give us some resources so that it can help the next person. Mm-hmm. So, Artie, ma'am, one last time, how can people reach? Do you guys have anything big coming up that we need to know about?
Anything big coming up? So in March, we'll come back around about this, but every other year we host a gala called The Power to Overcome. And that is really where we showcase some of our former patients or clients, as well as team members, the work that we do, their journeys. It's not a full black tie event, but a, nice dressy cocktail kind of event. We serve a plated meal. So we'll be getting the word out about that. Coming up sooner, September is, and I don't remember the exact dates, but there's a week in September that's National Rehabilitation Awareness Week. We have a giving day associated with that. And we have events going on all that week. So if you follow our social media, that's probably the easiest way to find us. If you follow Sheltering Arms Institute or Sheltering Arms on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, you'll see announcements about all our events.
Yeah, I see you guys are all over the place.
We are.
You have to let people know what you're doing, because as many times as you think you tell people, someone will say, so exactly what do you guys do? And I'm like, you've never seen the TV commercials, you've never seen on social media. So we'd like to thank you for coming on the program, ma'am. As I always say, folks, make sure you support Sheltering Arms and all the folks out there doing amazing things. You can follow me on social platforms, which is On the Mic with Mike King Biz. That's where we are. And as I always say, make sure you take care of our sponsors and advertisers. Because, as I always say, the microphone ain't free, and my grandkids need stuff. Yes, they do.
My name is Isabel, and you're listening to My King Biz. Hubby, that's my scam.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I just have to say I was, obliged to play that. My wife makes sure that I get that in there so I can remind people.